This video demonstration is brought to you by the Crafts channel in association with Dremel Hobby. Hi, my name's Kate Hemmings and I'm pleased to welcome you back to part 2 of our special project video demonstration in conjunction with Dremel. Now, Corinne Brad has been decorating a canvas with some beautiful buttons using the Dremel glue gun, and we're just about to move on to the second part. So Corinne, I can see you've got all those lovely buttons in place.
Yes, I've arranged them all in place and put your large ones in first and then fill the gaps with the smaller buttons.
Okay.
Very simple to stick them on, and what I suggest you do is if you stick the larger ones on first, because if you're slightly out, it's much easier to arrange the smaller buttons around them to accommodate it. If you do make a really big error, you can pull the button off. It will take quite a bit of force to pull it off, and it will take the paint off your canvas. But if you're only going to move it a couple of mil to the left, you're not going to notice. Wait until the glue has cooled before you try and take it off, because if the glue is still tacky because it's still hot, you'll end up stringing it, and you could wreck the rest of your canvas. So you take your glue gun, take the stand off it, and it's a simple trigger action to get the glue flowing. So this is a button with a recess on it that I want to put face down. Just simply squeeze the glue. Oh look, flowing beautifully.
So you don't need a massive amount?
No. Place it down on the canvas. Don't squeeze too much glue. You will find that it keeps coming out at the end if you're not careful. The other thing that you may also find is that you get spiderweb strings of glue from the button. Again, that's not a problem at all, because what will happen is as the glue dries, they will become brittle and then you can just pick them off afterwards.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, I could sit here going like this, but I'm likely to hit you in the face if I do that, so maybe I'll stop doing that. And as I say, these buttons are recessed. You will need to put enough glue in there to fill the recess. And as you press them down, you may see that the glue comes through the holes in the buttons, but it's not going to notice. It's trial and error. If in doubt, practice with a couple of buttons on a spare piece of canvas first of all to see exactly how much glue you're going to need. Keep pressing the larger ones in first. And hold the button at the edge of the button, and try and keep your fingers away from the tip, because although it has this silicone sleeve on it,
still hot.
Which it is still hot. I mean, I wouldn't keep my hand on that, but I can touch it. But that is red hot, and you don't, you know, it's not going to kill you, but it is going to give you a nasty burn if you're not careful. Having said that, I mean, a glue gun like this is probably fine for children under adult supervision, but with anything, it's a matter of common sense more than anything else. It's a hot tool. You know, don't leave a 3-year-old unattended with a hot glue gun.
I love the colours that you've used.
They're great, aren't they? The big ones are in place now. I'm just going to carry on doing this. The other thing I was going to say is this method can be used to decorate all sorts of things around the home.
So you can have a whole matching set.
Well, you could do. I mean, okay, it might be a bit overkill if you did your entire living room decorated in buttons, unless you're the Pearly King. But I mean, lampshades,
photo frames.
Photo frames would look great. I mean, I quite fancy the idea of a set, you know, like a triptych of pictures of trees like this, just along one wall on a plain wall.
Look very effective.
I've actually just decorated my living room, so now I'm thinking you might not have this frame afterwards, Kate.
Oh. It's a bit disappointing. You just have to make some more.
That's what I mean about the string. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on there, but you've got this spiderweb effect on here.
But it's quite easy to...
Yeah, it just comes off. It's, you know, give it a brush over. And now, can you take that off my hand for me?
Certainly.
Thank you, madam. And as I say, it will pick off once it's completely cool. And then you can repaint. Now, which have I stuck? No, I haven't stuck them.
So do you have to press down quite hard when you're applying the buttons to the canvas?
No, to be honest, I mean, the canvas is good. It's got a textured surface on it. So you've got quite a bit of key with the glue. I would say with most, I mean, this glue gun has worked for me on most surfaces, be they rough or smooth. You would be advised perhaps to do a test first, and if you're finding it's not adhering as well as you'd like it to, then try and roughen the surface so you can give it some key. But the glue gun itself is a very economical way of using glue. I mean, if you're like me and you use glue and you leave the lid off it and then you come back to it, then you've got to pick a great lump out of the nozzle of it. But I mean, the glue sticks themselves, I mean, they last for ages. These are 11mm glue sticks, and you just load them in the back as you're using it because it squeezes them forward. And it's there, it never dries out. And once it's cooled down, but then it becomes liquid again when you heat it. And it's great. I mean, especially for 3D effects. I mean, with card making and paper craft, you get through endless 3D foam pads.
Yes, and they're so fiddly to peel the back.
They are, but you could quite easily have the same effect just by putting a dab of glue on and just laying it on there, not pressing it down, because the glue will dry 3-dimensionally. And it's not a heavy glue either, so you're not going to find the problem that, you know, you've stuck loads of things on and then the card tips over.
Great, so it's
So
a must-have piece of kit.
I think it is, yeah. It's one of those, again, it's any kit that you have and then you find you use it again and again and again is well worth buying.
Definitely.
Now, I believe I have stuck all them down, so we're just going to
The
check.
moment of truth.
Look at that.
Fantastic, that's beautiful.
And as I say,
absolutely
the
lovely.
stringy bits that are on there are simply, once it's all cooled, just go
pull them
over
off.
it. If there's some tiny bits stuck sort of within buttons, you can just get them out with tweezers
Great.
and just go over the surface.
Well, Corinne,
think
thank
it's quite
you
nice, that.
very much. I think that's lovely. I've got my eye on that.
Yeah,
You
I
might not
thought
get
you
it
might
back.
have. I was going to say it's perfect for a little girl's bedroom
So
or
me.
Kate.
Thanks very much. Now, I'm sure after watching this demonstration, you can't wait to get your hand on a Dremel glue gun. So don't worry, simply pop along to www.dremel.com for your nearest stockist. Until next time, happy crafting.